All right, good evening, everyone. It is 5:03. Welcome to the meeting for the town of Yucca Valley. It's Tuesday, June 2nd. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll start off with our roll call, please.
Councilmember Dennison.
Here.
Rhodes.
Here.
Lombardo.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler.
Here.
And Mayor Abel.
Here, thank you. Clayton, I would like you to come up and introduce our special guest tonight, leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would ask for him and his mom to come forward at this time. And if that artwork could come forward too, that would be wonderful. So someone in the back, there you go. Thank you so much. Clayton, go right ahead.
So this is Gavin Bowles and his mother, Susan Masterson. And Gavin had a submission in the museum's recent exhibit for recycled art. So.
Wow. Well, I was so very impressed, Gavin, with your artwork. I went to the museum and I saw it, and I talked to Clayton. He told me you are 6 years old. Is that correct? Wonderful. And your mom, Susan, said the name of the art piece is "I Have Too Many of These." So it was a wonderful job. Can you show us which are your favorite cars that are up there?
I liked this one.
Uh-huh.
And then I liked this truck right here.
Wonderful. Well, if everyone would please rise, we're going to have our Pledge of Allegiance. Gavin's going to lead us, and then we will have Ann Fernandez from the Yucca Valley Center of Spiritual Living. You're invited to remain standing for our invocation. It's all yours, Gavin.
Please put your hands on your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic.
Well done. Thank you, Kevin.
Ms. Hernandez, come forward, please. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me here. So, as you said, we're from the Center for Spiritual Living, right across the street. And good evening to everyone. As we gather together this evening, let us take a moment to center ourselves in gratitude and purpose. We come from many different backgrounds, traditions, beliefs, and life experiences. Yet we are united by our shared commitment to the well-being of this community. Whether we find guidance through religion, spirituality, nature, personal reflection, or a deep sense of civic responsibility, may we recognize the sacred value and dignity inherent in every person. May we remember that each individual in this city matters, and that every decision made here has the power to touch lives in meaningful ways. May this council be guided by wisdom in its deliberations, integrity in its actions, and compassion in its service. May those entrusted with leadership approach their responsibilities with open minds, open hearts, and a sincere desire to seek the highest good for all. We give thanks for the many people who contribute to the strength of this community, the families, the educators, the first responders, the healthcare workers, volunteers, etc. This is a city where people can live and work and thrive. Thank you all for having me here, and have a wonderful meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done.
Well, that's a wonderful way to start off our meeting today.
Yes.
We have some presentations as well. So let's go ahead and begin with our introduction of new employees.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's my pleasure to introduce to you a new addition to the Engineering Public Works Department. Brenda Northup is our administrative assistant too for the town. She's been with us for about 3 weeks. That's the third week. She came with experience of 3 years of municipal government experience, recently serving as city clerk. Is it town or city? City clerk for a small town in Nevada, and has 20 years of work experience in the private sector, focused in management and customer service. Brenda is relocating to Yucca Valley with her husband and 2 dogs. Would you like to say something?
Thank you to the town of Yucca Valley for giving me this opportunity. I look forward to serving and look forward to what I can contribute to the team. I appreciate the opportunity.
welcome.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome.
If I could now ask Wesley McDavis, Darren Bradstock, and Sierra Crippen to join me up front, if you would, please. Mayor and Council, it's always a pleasure to stand before you and introduce new members of the team. Tonight, it's kind of a unique circumstance because you have 3 new employees that are all part of your animal care and control operation. All 3 of these individuals have started out as kennel technicians, part-time kennel technicians at the shelter. They feed, they water, they take care, they observe, they assist customers when customers come in. They do a phenomenal job of something that is very, very difficult. You've heard our conversations over the past little bit over a year about what occurs in a public shelter where we are mandated by law to accept all stray animals that are brought in. These are the staff members that deal with those circumstances and help get these animals out, whether it's through adoption, return to owners, transfer to other shelters, or transfer to other rescue groups. Most recently, one of these 3 applied for and was selected for a full-time position. That is Sierra. She is now actually on the 29th, so it's been a whopping, 4 days that she has been in a full-time role with the town as Animal Shelter Specialist, Animal Control Officer 1. So what does that person do? That person has those same functions in the shelter, but then that person also has field responsibilities as well as a field officer. I can't stress enough the importance of these employees and what they do at our animal shelter. They have contributed since their time with the town of taking our shelter almost borderline to being what's identified or classified as a no-kill shelter. Our live release rate for dogs is just a hair below 90%, and that is through town council and town manager policy direction to the staff and the programs that are implemented by your new animal care and control manager and the rest of the staff at the shelter. These 3 individuals play a very important role, and I'd like to welcome them as part of that important team this evening. You can say a few words.
My name is Wesley, and I'd like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity as being very young and being able to take care of the animals, and I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sierra. I am the newest animal control officer and shelter specialist at the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter, and I'm very excited to serve in my community. I grew up here in the Morongo Basin, and I went to school for animal science, so I'm very excited to be able to use my education and my experience and serve my community.
Wonderful. Thank you.
My name's Darren Bradstock, and just like them, but thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to serve the community, help the animals, and make some new friends in the process.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
And we're batting 100% tonight, new employees, and we got all 3 to talk. Very, very good.
All right, well, it's exciting to see new members of our team and our family, so welcome to all of you. And it's nice to see a face and get to know you a little bit better. Before we approve tonight's agenda, seeing that we have some youth commissioners in attendance this evening, I would like to propose moving item 25 Youth Commission end-of-term report to be heard before we do our public hearings. And also just to take note that our public hearing on item number 24 for Walmart fuel station will be heard at or after 6 p.m. as noticed. With that and those agenda changes and amended, do I have a motion or do I have an item?
Mayor, I'll move approval of the agenda.
All second.
All right, we have a motion, a second, roll call.
Councilmember Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are routine matters or formal documents covering previous town council instruction. Items are enacted by one motion and a second without separate discussion unless a member of the town council or staff requests dialogue on a specific item. Requests for public comments on the consent agenda item should be filed with our town clerk. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone wishing to speak on our consent agenda items?
I don't have any slips.
All right. Are there any council members wanting to pull or staff members wanting to pull an item for discussion?
No.
Hearing and seeing none, I'll look for a motion.
Mayor, Dennison will move items 3 through 21 on consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. All right. So before we get into our public hearing, we're going to move our item number 25 to the front, Youth Commission End of Term Report.
Mayor and Council, it's my pleasure to introduce Chair Smith and Vice Chair Wingirder from the Youth Commission.
Hello, everybody. My name is Acacia Smith. I am the chair of the 2025-26 Youth Commission. I'm 17 years old, and I am a senior at Yucca Valley High School, and this, I believe, is my 5th year on Youth Commission.
Good evening, Council. My name is George Ringel. I am 17 years old, and I'm a junior at a charter school called I Lead Exploration. This is, I think, my third year on the Youth Commission, and I'm the vice chair of the 2025-2026 total. Thank you.
And tonight we are bringing to you our end-of-term report. So this is just a recap of all the things that we have done this year. So starting off.
So on Saturday, February 14th, 2026, we had our senior Valentine's dance. We usually put on, I think annually, a dance for the senior. We work in conjunction with the senior center to put on a dance for them. This year, it was Valentine's themed, so that was nice. We had it on that Valentine's Day. It's super great to always see. I feel like this is one of our best events because we always see so many seniors get so happy and just look forward to it. And it's really great to see all the smiles and everyone up dancing. And we can usually get some of our own commissioners up on the dance floor with the seniors too. That's always a delight. As you can see, we have some photos. I actually don't see me in here. Oh no, never mind. There I am on the stage. But yeah, it's always a really great night, and this has been one of our most consistent events that we put on every year, and it's just really worth it to see everyone so happy. And we also had a pretty great attendance from our commissioners this event as well. I believe, I don't actually know the exact number that showed up, but it was most of the commission, and everyone worked really, really well. This was also a very first event that we put on, so it was very nice to see such a great turnout for it. On April 21st, 2026, we put on the Middle School Forum. This is really fun because it's a great way to kind of, I guess, advertise the Youth Commission to the middle schoolers, try and recruit new ones. We always make it really fun. We bring food and like game activities, and we put on different challenges. So I think every year we've done a pudding eating contest where we put trash bags as like bibs over the participants and then have their friend behind them while blindfolded try and feed their friend pudding. It's always really fun. It's always really messy, but it is really fun to see. And then we also have a fruit roll-up game where we would try and, without using your hands, eat the fruit roll-up as fast as possible. So it's really just to show how fun we are as a commission and just really try and build that camaraderie with our middle schoolers and try and get new ones. I believe we had 2 or 3 this year new commissioners that did go to the middle school forum last year and liked it. So we do know that it works in recruiting new members, and it was a lot of fun. It was really windy, if I remember correctly, so that made things a little difficult, but that did not stop us too much.
Here are some more pictures from the middle school forum, and to add on to what George was saying, we definitely think that the middle school forums have helped kind of put Youth Commission on the map for people in the age range, because I know just this year we've had a lot, at least double the amount that we had last year of new participants, and a lot of them are in grades 7 and 8. So I definitely think that the middle school forum is very fun, and even if the students at the middle school, they don't even want to think about joining Youth Mission, it's a fun day for them, to have games and stuff at lunch with their friends. And I believe our most recent event, other than Grub Stakes Days, was the Kids Zone in conjunction with the Health Fair. This was Saturday, May 2nd, and there we had a lot of fun activities. We had 3 or maybe 4, no, just 3 inflatable obstacle courses. So the kids could go in that, and it was totally free. And then we also had free popcorn and free cotton candy. We also had face painting. And so we like to do something like this in conjunction with the health fair, because it allows parents to go around and look at all of the things that they offer at the health fair, all of the booths, and they get to do that. And then their kids, if they're old enough to kind of be on their own, they can be in our area, which is the kids zone, and they can have a lot of fun there. And, it was a beautiful day outside. And so, the kids zone, I think, was very, very successful. I know we had a great turnout for the youth commissioners, and we all had a lot of fun. The kids had a lot of fun. So, the kids zone, or I know we used to do a family fun day. These type of events are personally my favorite, because it's a long day of work, but it's really, really fun just to see kids having so much fun and to have, a play day like that in our community. So, here are some more pictures. You can see some of the inflatables. You can see the face painting. And then we also had a booth that was giving out flyers full of all the activities that we do in town. So it was another great way to get outreach for Youth Commission and for other activities in the town. And then if you look in the back, you'll see a ton of cardboard boxes, and you might be like, oh, why are those back there? Well, those are our food donation boxes. So this year we had a food donation, and we had a little workshop where we decorated those cardboard boxes you see in the back, and then we put them out at different town locations to collect food. And I believe we are all done now. We might still be collecting some, but we have filled up so many boxes, and all of that food that we've collected is going to go to Unity Home, which focuses on giving to families that are displaced by domestic violence. So this is also something that we've done for at least 2 or 3 years now, and the workshops where we decorate the boxes we have a lot of fun doing that. And then, it's such a simple thing to put the boxes out, but we get a lot of donations, and it's really going to help a lot of families. So that is something else that we have done this year. And then our final thing was we participated in the Grub Steak Days parade. Did we have a float?
I unfortunately was not able to participate in the parade because I was sick, but we did have a float and we did get to decorate it. So
Okay.
I suppose that was pretty fun.
I was not in the parade either, but as you can see from our pictures, we had a ton of fun. We had a good amount of youth commissioners come out, and I was really excited to hear that we had a parade back this year. I know for the past few years it's just been like Grub Steaks Day. So to have the parade again was really, really fun, and the commissioners had a lot of fun decorating and getting ready for the parade. So yeah, it was lovely to be a part of that. And along with our own events that we create and that we basically run, we have also been a part of a lot of volunteer opportunities in other town events. So for example, Spooktacular, the tree lighting ceremony, the snow play day, Healthy Hearts Run, Easter, the film festival, Grub Steaks. There's been a ton of them. And so we're really grateful to be able to volunteer at those events as well, and to just help out whenever we can.
Thank you. That is our end of year presentation. It really was a great year. I feel like we had the most participation. We also had the most members as well out of the entire youth commission. And it was really great to see just so many kids getting active and getting involved in their community. And I feel like this was probably my favorite year as well. It was the most fun. All events was like the most successful in my opinion. And yeah, it was just really great to be a part of it.
And I want to say thank you, I want to say thank you to our town council for allowing us to have such a big commission. I know in past years the limit has been 20, and then last year I think we raised that to 25 to be able to accommodate for all the new members. And this year we had almost 40 youth commissioners, and so I want to give a big shout out to the town council and the Parks Recreation Cultural Commission for allowing us to welcome all these new members. And I want to say thank you to my youth commissioners because it has been such a fantastic year, and it's so heartwarming to see so many people that want to, be active in the town and to help out and to be so selfless. And so, yeah, this is my last year, and it's a little, I'm a little sentimental, but I strongly believe that the Youth Commission is in great hands with all of these new members. I can't wait to see where it goes and what else they do. So, yeah, it's been a great year. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for your service to the community.
So I'd like to invite the council up to, we have awards that certificates that we'd like to hand out and get a photo of the council and the youth commissioners. This is graduation week. We were shooting for the second meeting of last month. Didn't have a quorum, so we're a little bit thin, but we had 40 applicants this year, and we had a core group of about 35. So really great job, and I'd like to thank the council for their support, and department heads and city leadership. So thank you very much.
Can I just say that it's pretty incredible the skills that they have learned and their ability to speak in public and their leadership skills. Great evidence that our staff is doing a great job with working with them. It's a very impressive group.
My goodness.
All right, well, thank you again very much, all of you. Sound like a very, very busy year, and we're glad for your service, and sorry that others couldn't make it tonight, but congratulations again for helping us so well. We're going to move on to our public hearing. The first public hearing is the annual street and drainage and landscaping lighting district for the fiscal year 2026-27. I'm going to open up the hearing, and we'll have our staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is the fiscal year 26-27 annual street and drainage and landscape and lighting assessment districts. Recommendation before you tonight is that to adopt the resolutions approving and confirming the assessment diagrams and confirming the assessments as set forth in the engineer's report for landscaping and lighting maintenance districts and street and drainage maintenance districts within the existing districts for the 26-27 tax year, and authorize the levy of the assessment upon real property as identified in the engineer's report. With us tonight, Nadia Bonali from Web Municipal Finance to give up the staff report. Nadia?
Good evening. So Alex already gave us the recommendation for this evening, and that's to adopt the engineer's report and authorize the levy of assessments for fiscal year 26-27. Town Council previously approved the formation of landscape and lighting maintenance district and street drainage maintenance districts, which must be updated and approved by Town Council annually pursuant to state code. On April 7, 2026, the Town Council approved Resolution 2607, directing the preparation of the assessment engineer's report, describing any new improvements within the district and any substantial changes in the existing improvements within the existing districts. On May 5th of 26, the Town Council adopted Resolution 2610 and 2611, preliminarily approving the engineer's reports for the existing assessment districts and setting the public hearing date to tonight. There are 4 assessment districts, tract map 16957, 16587, 17328, 17455, and this is the representing the assessment rates, maximum rates, and levies for this year. And I'm sorry, I'm going to read from the paper that's a little too small for me. So for Zone 1, which is tract map 16957, it's comprised of 34 benefit units. The maximum assessment rate for the landscape and lighting district is $314.13. The levy this year is $50.91 for a total levy amount of $1730.82. Those same 34 benefit units are in the street drainage maintenance district, and that maximum allowable assessment per benefit unit is $1,276.74. The levy this year is $25.34 for a total levy amount of $861.43. Zone 2, which is tract map 16587, is comprised of 55 benefit units. The landscape and lighting maximum assessment rate is $356.80. The levy this year is $48.73 for a total amount of $2,680.26. Those same 55 benefit units are in the street drainage district, and their maximum is $713.59. The levy is $20.37 for a total levy amount of $1120.52. Zone 3, tract map 17328, is 17 benefit units. The maximum rate in the landscape and lighting district is $617.48. The levy is $48.98 for a total amount of $832.70. The street drainage maximum assessment rate per benefit unit is $1,080.72, and the levy is $19.76 per benefit unit for a total of $335.86. Zone 5, tract map 17455 is only in the street drainage, and that one is 7,184 benefit units. The maximum rate is 3.29 per benefit unit, and the levy is 65 cents per benefit unit for a total of $4,635.66. There are no alternatives recommended this evening. The recommended action is necessary for compliance with state law. The assessment districts provide revenue to offset the cost of maintenance of public improvements to serve the development projects. The engineer's reports set forth the maximum allowable assessment for each parcel. The recommendation for this evening is to adopt the resolutions approving and confirming the assessment diagrams and confirming the assessments set forth in the engineer's reports for landscape and lighting maintenance district and street drainage maintenance districts within the existing districts for fiscal year 2026-27. Authorize the levy of assessments upon real property as identified in the engineer's reports.
Mayor and Council, that concludes staff report, and we will be happy to answer any questions following public hearing.
Wonderful. Anyone wish to speak on this public hearing for the assessments, the 7 districts that were mentioned? Anyone online? Hearing and seeing none, bring it back to our council. So the recommendation is that Town Council adopts a resolution approving and confirming the assessment diagrams of the 7 districts presented through the staff report. If there are no questions, we'll look for a motion and a second.
I'll move we approve.
Dennison will second.
I'm closing the public hearing. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dennison,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. All right, we're going to open up our next public hearing in connection with the placement of fiscal year 2026-27 solid waste handling service on the property tax rolls. We'll open up the public hearing.
Good evening, Council and Mayor, Honorable Mayor and Council, I should say. The item before you is the public hearing in connection with the placement of the fiscal year 26-27 solid waste handling service charges on the property tax rolls. The recommendation is that the Town Council conduct a public hearing, review the report prepared by the Town Manager, and adopt a resolution authorizing the placement of fiscal year 26-27 solid waste handling service charges on the property tax roll. So the solid waste collection services for town residents and businesses are provided through the franchise agreement with Burtech. Since 2020, the town has collected solid waste service charges through the property tax roll as authorized by the town's franchise agreement and also the solid waste ordinance. In compliance with California Health and Safety Code Section 5473, the town has prepared a report listing all parcels receiving solid waste services and the corresponding charges for fiscal year 26-27, which is on the table and available for review. Approval of the proposed resolution would authorize these charges to continue being collected on the tax roll alongside regular property taxes. For fiscal year 26-27, Burtech is proposing an average rate increase of approximately 8.97% for standard trash and recycling and organic services, which equates to about a $3 per month increase for a typical 95-gallon cart customer. The increase reflects a 4.73 CPI adjustment, as well as increases to the state-mandated net recycling and organics recycling costs. These increased costs are primarily driven by state-mandated diversion of organic waste from and recyclable materials away from less expensive landfill disposal and into more expensive recycling and composting facilities. While these programs support the state's environmental goals, they result in higher processing costs, and they are reflected in the service rates. So for example, currently the landfill costs are $49.49 per ton for trash, compared to about $126 a ton for organic waste processing at a composting facility, and about $120 per ton for recycling processing. Before placing the charges on the tax roll, state law requires that the Town Council to hold a public hearing. Notice of the public hearing was properly published in the High Desert Star on May 13th and 20th of 2026. During the hearing, the council will consider any protests or objections. If a majority of affected property owners protest, the charges cannot be collected through the tax roll. Following the hearing, the council may adopt, modify, or reject the proposed charges. Approval of the resolution requires a 2/3 vote of the Town Council. Again, the recommendation is that the Town Council conducts a public hearing, reviews the report prepared by the Town Manager, and adopts a resolution authorizing the placement of the fiscal year 26-27 solid waste handling service charges on the property tax rolls. I'd be happy to answer any questions following the public hearing.
All right, very good. We'll open it up for our public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this particular item, which is dealing with the solid waste handling service charges? Anyone online? Hearing and seeing none, we'll bring it back to I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to our council for a motion and a second, unless there's any other discussion.
Mayor Dennis will move the item as presented by staff.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. Our next public hearing will be held at or after 6 p.m., so we're going to move on to our department reports number 26, which is our Town of Yucca Valley Summer Music Festival and Independence Day celebration. Do we have a staff report?
Whoops. Here he is.
We're keeping you busy.
Forgot about us, huh?
He'd rather-
Sorry about that. Wrapping up. Yeah, council, mayor and council, before you, we've got the Independence Day celebration. This year, it's going to be on July 3rd, and we're back at the Yucca Valley High School Stadium again. So a quick event overview. The event gates open at 6 p.m. and it runs until 9:30. Part of the MOU with the high school and the school district, no pets, no alcohol, and we do allow blankets and chairs on the field, drinks, but no food and no sticky or sweet beverages. So it is a turf field, and the school district does not allow anything like that. So it just doesn't turn over and get mowed the same, at all. So cleanup and everything's a little bit more of an issue. Last year we had zero problems. We stationed staff at the top of the ramp, by the parking lot, the bottom, and then again at the gate going onto the field. So worked out really well, and we're basically mimicking what we did last year. This event also kicks off the Summer Music Festival. July 3rd, the fireworks show, we have those guys. They are kind of a corporate band, party band, and they are top hits, top 40, pop, greatest hits kind of band. That'll carry us into the rest of the summer with beach rock, classic rock. Upstream is it's been 4 or 5 years since we've had them, but they were a crowd favorite. I think they've even done a 4th of July show for us in the past, Caribbean and reggae. Then we've got a great country band, and we'll wrap up the entire summer concert series with Funk Station, a Motown kind of funk soul R&B. Quick budget overview. So we had an issue with fireworks last year. The operator wasn't ready to go at 9 p.m. Pyro Spectaculars has given us a credit of $40,000, which we've tentatively earmarked for the new Yucca Valley Aquatics and Recreation Center grand opening. For this year, the cost for fireworks is $45,000, and we're collaborating with the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians, splitting that 50-50. So they're contributing $22,500 to this year's show, and we're contributing the remaining $22,500. The tribal support is also, they're providing their time slot and their vendors, their pyrotechnician, the person that actually shoots the show. So this individual normally shoots their show. So we're getting that person experience. They do the Arrowhead show. They do the City of 29 Palms. He's experienced in the desert, in the heat, and he's got a great track record. We've already done a site walk. I've talked to him extensively, and he's familiar with Yucca Valley. He used to run the Gem, Mineral, and Art show that was out at the Dry Lake Bed Campground for years and years. So we're excited to have him. The budget for this year for the entire Independence Day celebration is $58,600, and that includes some extra costs. Our stage, we can't just drive that out onto that turf track or the synthetic track onto the turf field, so we've had to build a stage, and that's an added expense. And then it's a different setup. Our sound, the guy that provides sound and lighting for the rest of our concerts, he's been with us longer than I've been with town, Hutch. He recommended that he said, with all due respect, you need to get somebody else. He's like, this just isn't my setup. So we're working with Audio Tech and John Weber. They provide all the sound and lighting and everything for Pappy and Harriet's. They're an absolute like ace in the hole for all of this kind of stuff. He brought great equipment, great stage, great lighting last year. We're doing it again this year. And then the remaining budget for the rest of the concerts, we're going back to our sound guy Hutch for everything else here at the community center park. And we'll have our stage back on the softball field for that. And that's about $57K for the entire thing, for a total of $115,000 for the year. Perimeter site plan, we've already walked the site with streets and with MUSD. This is the same plan we had last year. Everybody was happy with it. Maintenance staff, facility staff, street staff, community services staff, and the district. So we're doing this again. Basically the same thing as last year, make sure that we have our radius that's prescribed to make sure that we're clear of the school buildings, and then we fence everything off. Streets department puts out lane delineators, we put up caution tape and extra signage, just make it absolutely clear that this is the fireworks zone, and we set staff out there outside that perimeter of the red circle, but inside the fence, just in case anyone tries to get in. We'll have everything set up on the 2nd and 3rd and broken down on Monday the 5th. So this is the stage that we set up for the fireworks show. Looks like a lot of the temporary mobile modular stages that you see. This is set up on July 2nd, the day before the show, and they'll take it off Saturday on the 4th of July. Trash and bathroom plan, again, same thing we did last year, the high school stadium restrooms down below. We set up porta potties on the west side of the parking lot with 6 hand washing stations. We have several ADA bathrooms, and then we have 2 dumpsters on site as well. We have VIP and dignitary parking under the shade structures. We have staff parking over there, and then we reserve the entire inner line on the west side of the main parking lot for ADA. We have a food truck plaza again this year. We have 5 out of the 6 vendor spots sold as of yesterday. And then we've been working with the high school's ASB to operate the snack bar. So the staff at YVHS, Richard Sanchez, is working with the ASB, and we're going to make sure that they have all the support that they need from town. The county does come out and do a full inspection for this event. And I think we already have our event permit from the county. So, traffic and parking patterns. We've worked with the Sheriff's Department. Sergeant Carpenter runs operations. It's basically the same thing that the Sheriff's Department does for graduation. They end up shutting the street down right about event time, and they leave that street shut down until everybody's able to get out. So the street on the north side of Onaga, the east and west sides of Sage, and then the neighborhoods tend to fill up, and the parking lots are full right around 6 or 6:30. We have a drop-off lane that we keep open until the street shuts down, so families can get dropped off while somebody goes and parks the car. We have more lane delineators that are set up by the streets department, set up some more caution tape, and the entire area is filled with staff to help keep vehicles moving through and facilitating drop-off for all the people going to the show. We have 8-foot by 4-foot giant vinyl banners indicating where people can be dropped off, exit only, parking, no parking, all that stuff, all over the fences along Sage. And back one. The image you see on the right-hand side is the one that we put in the newspaper last year. It also goes as a large poster on A-frames set up throughout the event. It'll be passed out, made available at the pool beforehand, here in the community center. It'll be sent out as a rec blast to all of our customers. So we populate that and circulate it through the community as much as possible. And then we have the 3rd of July concert and fireworks spectacular. That's typically part of the newspaper ad that we put out. So gates open at 6. The show's from 6 to 6:30. Speech by typically one of the council members, if not the mayor. 8:40, and fireworks show at 9. So that concludes this staff report. I'd be happy to answer any questions after public comment.
All right, we'll open up to the public. Any comments on the July 3rd celebration, 2026? Yeah? No one online? All right. bring it back to the council. I'd like to thank the school district with cooperating. We have no way of hosting that at a facility that has enough parking and enough, movement of vehicles. So it's very nice the school district's working with us once again this year. And it's fantastic that our local band of Indians is supporting and helping us with this celebration. And then people will have the opportunity also to go to July 4th celebrations throughout the basin as well. So thank you for the presentation. Any other questions or comments?
Just want to congratulate you. It seems very thoroughly done and that it's been thought out. A lot of it's been practiced last year, and sounds like it's going to go more smoothly this year with the right operators. I'm looking forward to a good presentation, and thank you for all your efforts and the efforts of the staff. Exceptional. So.
Yeah, and I've seen the quality of the bands through the summer concert series have gone up. So we've had some really great bands. You've vetted well, and look forward to those concerts. They're very well attended.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just want to say thank you. It was a challenge last year. There was a lot to work through, and the partnership with the school and the others that are helping us to put on this event is greatly appreciated. One thing you said that stuck in my head is that last year, the turf that they have there on the field, they had that done a few years ago, that it was well taken care of last year, and we'll look forward to the same thing this year, and that's nice that the community sees that. They want to take care of our stuff, and we appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you to you and your staff. This is incredibly complicated, and with you and your staff, everything else you do, it's really quite incredible. So thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. We appreciate the presentation and look forward to it. We'll move on to another very exciting project. That's item number 27, active transportation, cycle 8, call for projects. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is an active transportation program, ATP Cycle 8 call for projects. Very excited and very proud to introduce this project to the Town Council. The recommendation before you tonight that is the Council authorized staff, the submittal for California Active Transportation Program Cycle 8 grant application for design and construction of curb gutter sidewalk and ADA curb ramps improvement in the vicinity of Yucca Valley Elementary School, Yucca Valley High School, Onaga Elementary School, La Contenda Middle School, and Barron Drive Corridor. And just to give a background, this is not the first time that the town or staff have submitted this application. This application was submitted last year, and it received a very good score, but it was not good enough to get it funded. So we have been discussing with our transportation agencies, and they have advised us that they would like to help us with the application with for no fee to make it much better and to make sure that as we were getting to get higher score on that project. The project will enhance pedestrian and bicycle connectivity and improve safety for students, residents, and community members. The project will connect critical gaps in the town active transportation network while improving overall accessibility and mobility throughout the project area. The ATP grant program provides significant funding opportunity for the town to advance these improvements with minimal impact to the local funding sources. And if awarded, grant funding would support environmental review, design, and the construction of the proposed document. So this is a schedule, this of what is the ATP grant is called for. And if you notice that is we will be hearing about our application status in about November 2nd, 2026. So this is one of the projects that we are proposing on this grant, Yucca Valley Pedestrian Enhancement, and that is for to complete missing sidewalk. That is Yucca Valley Elementary School. And this project will complete missing sidewalk segments, improve limited pedestrian connectivity, and address inadequate curb ramps to encourage a safe and healthy commute to the school and Jacobs Park. include sidewalk, curb gutter, ADA curb ramps, improvement along Onaga Trail, Hopi Trail, and Pueblo Trail. This is one aspect of the project. The second aspect of the project, which is Yucca Valley High School, and as you can see, will complete missing sidewalk segments, improve limited pedestrian connectivity, and address inadequate curb ramps to encourage the safe and healthy commute to the school. And that is one of the curb ramps will be along Onaga Trail and Sage Avenue. The third part of this grant is within Onaga Elementary School. As you can see, it's to improve the neighborhood that is abutting the school with sidewalks, curb gutter sidewalks, handicap ramps, and that will make it easy for the students and their parents to walk from where they live to the school. So that will make it a very good connectivity. And the last portion of this is the improvement along Barron Drive. And as you know, there is no schools located in Barron Drive, but at the Paradise Park, there is a big connection. There's a big buses pick up students from that area and take it to all the other schools. And that is one of the things that is, we were watching that, and we saw that kids walking with their parents, walking the street because they try to avoid as much as they can the dirt area. So we are proposing this as part of the project also, and that will be a very good enhancement. The physical impact, the project as it stands, as when we wrote the staff report, it was at 8.536 million. After that, we went back and we revised the estimate. It stands at 8.7 million, and the match that is we are required to put in will be around 450,000. So we can get about 8,200,000 to do the project. That will include environmental, design, and construction. So, recommendation before you tonight is to authorize the submittal of the California Active Transportation Program, ATP Cycle 8 grant application for the design and construction of curb, gutter, sidewalk, ADA improvement in the vicinity of Yucca Valley Elementary, Yucca Valley High School, Onaga Elementary, La Contenda Middle School, and Barron Drive Corridor. I'll be more than happy to answer any question following public comments.
Thank you very much for that report. We'll look for any comments from the public on this item. Yes, thank you. Come forward, just state your name and place of residence, and you'll have 3 minutes. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. For those who don't know me, my name is Eric Linner. I'm a resident of Yucca Valley, and I'm here representing the Basin Bike Path, a Desert Roots community initiative focused on making the Morongo Basin safer and more connected for people traveling outside of a vehicle, especially pedestrians and cyclists. You may remember that the last time I spoke before Council about bicycling was last fall, following a tragic bicycle fatality here in Yucca Valley. Since then, what began as a concern has grown into a community movement. We formally organized as the Basin Bike Path and just hosted our first community ride this past Sunday, where roughly 30 local residents gathered to ride Sunny Slope Drive and discuss safer transportation options in the basin. The momentum has extended beyond our local community. Earlier this year, I was invited to Cal Bike to attend the 2026 California Bicycle Summit in Sacramento. And later this month, I'll be attending an advocacy workshop hosted by the League of American Bicyclists. So naturally, I was excited when this item was listed on tonight's agenda. I appreciate the town's effort to pursue active transportation funding, and I especially appreciate that this application includes a proposed bicycle path connection from Yucca Mesa Road across Highway 62 and up to Yucca Trail. I believe Yucca Trail is one of the best candidates in town for dedicated bicycle infrastructure and can become an important east-west connection for residents. That said, I was surprised to learn that only a relatively small portion of this $8.5 million proposal, 8.7, excuse me, is dedicated to bicycle infrastructure, while the majority is directed towards new sidewalk construction. Sidewalks certainly have an important role, particularly near schools, parks, and community destinations. However, I would encourage the town to carefully evaluate whether every proposed sidewalk segment provides the same public benefit as additional bicycle and multi-use path investments. One of the recurring themes I've heard at the California Bicycle Summit was that communities are increasingly looking for projects that connect destinations rather than simply adding isolated pieces of infrastructure. Bicycle and multi-use paths can often serve a broader range of users while helping achieve safety, recreation, tourism, and transportation goals simultaneously. The town identified already many of these goals in the Parks and Recreation Master Plan adopted in 2019, yet several bicycle-related recommendations remain unimplemented. As you continue refining future applications, I encourage you to think beyond a single corridor. Sunny Slope Drive, for example, where we rode on Sunday, has significant width along much of its length and could become an excellent bicycle connection. Yucca Trail, another opportunity to connect Yucca Valley and Joshua Tree, having previously lived in the Friendly Hills neighborhood and regularly biked that route, I can personally attest to the challenges cyclists face on that roadway today. I appreciate the town pursuing these grant opportunities, and I encourage you to continue expanding the bicycle and active transportation components of future projects. With thoughtful planning, Yucca Valley has an opportunity to become a regional leader in safe, connected transportation options for residents of all ages. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? All right, we'll bring it back. No one online? We'll bring it back to our council. First of all, thank you for your comments on bicycle paths and so forth. If you could make sure and contact Frank Lucchino and talk a little bit about that, we'd appreciate it. He's our assistant town manager. I think we missed a couple of opportunities on some of the repaving projects to do some striping and some bike path signage and so forth. So I hope we're moving in the direction that you're talking about here in the future. So thank you for that, those comments. I had a couple questions. First of all, I asked earlier, and I just wanted to state it for the public, this particular grant looks quite aggressive, quite a few projects, and I love that it's in all different kinds of neighborhoods, including next to a park, and that's part of the requirements for that kind of funding. It's parks and schools. This is different than Safe Routes to School funding?
No, it's the same. They have Safe Route to School and other funds that is they put together, and they call them ATP right now, which is the Active Transportation Program.
Okay. And this is a all or nothing proposal. So again, it's one project, but 4 different areas per se, and then we either get the funding or we'll have to go back through the process in another cycle. Is that correct? And I love the opportunity to get students and pedestrians off the street. It's safer for bicycles as well as for automobile traffic. And some of those areas that were missed before have little missing pieces. Getting connected is super, super exciting and important. I, being a former teacher at the high school, would see that corner that you guys are going to possibly put sidewalks on. So many, and that the traffic moves pretty rapidly right there. So many students are walking on that dirt next to the road, and so that would be a great improvement next to that school as well. We had, when we did sidewalks before, it was part of also a high road widening project. So there's no widening project included in any of these particular sidewalks?
No, there is not.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions.
I just wanted to make a comment on it. Thank you to the speaker today for bringing up bicycling. It is included in the thoughts on ATP. It's one of the things that one of my assignments that I do is I'm on the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority and currently the president. And we do a lot of work on ATP. You know, certainly we do roads, local roads, major highways, interchanges, and that kind of stuff. But right now, the most important thing to me has always been ATP. We started a lot of work earlier around Yucca Valley Elementary School that's really had great benefits to the community. And when you see sidewalks that are kind of not interconnected yet, the vision is much broader than that from 10,000 feet of where we want to get. But the idea, and the mayor had mentioned around the high school, where kids are dropped off kind of around the blocks, because the kids can walk to school. If you've ever gone to the high school or any school for that fact, if you take your kids to school themselves or have someone do it for you, it gets quite congested there, and that's where I think the most dangerous places are, because cars are trying to dart in and out of the school. So by building this network out away from the schools, around the schools, it gives parents the opportunity to drop their kids off at a safe location where they're protected by a curb, they have a sidewalk out of the roadway, they can continue to use the improved crosswalks and get to school safely and reduce congestion in that area. But also other times during the year where people can actually walk and not walk on the sand shoulders and be exposed to vehicle traffic on the narrow roads. Roads like Sunny Slope is all sand shoulders, so it's very, very narrow and very, I guess, could be scary at times because you don't know what traffic's going to do. Yucca Trail was the same way. You've noticed our area has been expanded. That was also a project with San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, as well as other projects in the area, but we widened that center turn lane with shoulders on the side, so it's probably to most people a lot more relaxing to be able to walk and also ride bicycles if that's one of their choices. It also improves the ADA compliance at all those intersections where sand is horrible at roads, and those with any type of limited mobility can't get through that. So these projects are huge for our community to make it a lot more accessible to everyone, and that's the goal of ATP. So while we do that, one of the things that's really helped us out in our town is our Measure Y funding. We are able to get funding from the community and use that for the seed money that you saw, the $450,000 that actually works into over $8 million. And that $8 million is another project and funding pool that we use for this type of project, and that is Measure I at the county level. So Measure I is a county-wide half-cent sales tax, and that money now can be pooled because we as a community bring money forward. We're willing to be a partner and put that funding in there to show that we're serious about the project and for this community. So I thank all of you because in many ways everyone contributes to that, and it does make a difference. But that's kind of the idea why you see a lot of places that are broken up a little bit. But there's a lot of work here at staff trying to build these roads out, and also at the county level as our partner to build the network out. So it's going to really make a big difference. You may see it, it'll be years before it's completed, but it's moving forward. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any questions, comments?
Sure. Well, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Councilmember Dennison for his work on this. I think it's been very influential in getting the assistance that we need to turn in a application that is meaningful and get their attention. So thank you for that. And you know, I was going through the downtown area today, and I had to remind my wife that it wasn't that long ago that we didn't have sidewalks, you know, on the highway even, and what a difference it makes. And she grew up here, and she didn't even remember, you know, before we had sidewalks. So it makes a big difference, and really classes up our community as well as improves the safety. I think you can remember, if you've been here very long, that we had pedestrians and wheelchairs on the highway with a dirt shoulder for a really long time, until recently, I don't know how many years, 10 years ago. But does make a difference. I think this group of projects is well put together, and I really hope we get funding. So good work, everybody. Thank you.
No comment, no.
I'm just hoping it gets funded. I think that's
Yeah.
great. Thanks to staff for the application process. It's complicated, and they sought help from yeah. And so I think that's great. They got expert advice, and I think that leads to a better result. So we're looking forward to seeing it happen.
All right. Would you like to give us a motion and to move forward?
I move that we approve.
I'll second the item.
And roll call, please.
Councilmember Dennison.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Lombardo.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler.
Yes.
And Mayor Abel.
Yes. All right, we're going to move back to our public hearing, item number 24, which is the environmental assessment. We're going to have our public hearing. We're going to open that and look forward to our staff report.
Good evening.
Excuse me.
Good evening. The recommendation for this item is three parts. First, for environmental assessment 02-25, that the Town Council approves EA 02-25 and adopts the resolution for addendum number 1 to the previously adopted environmental impact report. Conditional use permit 01-25 that the Town Council approves CUP 01-25, a request to construct and operate 6 pump gasoline station, 12 fuel dispensers, and a 4,950 square foot fuel canopy, and 1,556 square foot convenience store. And the attached ordinance, specific plan 01-004, amendment number 2, that the Town Council introduces the ordinance, specific plan 01-04, amendment number 2 to the Yucca Valley Retail Specific Plan. A request to amend the adopted specific plan by ordinance to allow a gasoline station as an approved land use and to allow it for additional signage for the gasoline station and convenience store. A little bit of background on the project. I know a lot of us, well, not us being me, but a lot of you were here for this. The original EIR for the Yucca Valley specific plan was released for public review in July of 2007. In August 2008, the Yucca Valley Town Council certified that EIR, adopted the specific plan, and approved the conditional use permit for the Walmart store. The certified EIR included the fuel station that was removed from the specific plan and never constructed, and we'll touch on that a little bit later in the slideshow. The EIR was challenged by the Coalition for Environmental Integrity in Yucca Valley and the Center for Biological Diversity. In March 2010, the council was informed that in exchange for Walmart's agreement to take additional renewable energy and sustainability measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the project and donate to the Mojave Desert Land Trust, that the legal challenge would be dismissed. And Walmart applied for building permits in November 2012 and completed construction in 2014. Pursuant to chapters 9.70 and 9.63, they both require public hearings for this process. So 9.70 is for specific plans. Specific plans basically are adopted on top of the underlying zoning. So it basically creates a new zoning requiring both the ordinance and the town council hearing. And then the CUP, because it's part of that overall project, is also heard by the council. We already kind of touched on this, but the project description is basically 6 fuel pumps, so 12 dispensers, 1 on either side of the pump, overhead canopy, fuel storage, and a 1,556 square foot convenience store. The project site's located on the northeast corner of the existing parking lot for Walmart. There's various paving, landscaping improvements, sewer connections, et cetera. And then you'll see that the hours of the store are the same as Walmart, so 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., although the gas station will operate 24/7. These are the surrounding land uses for the project site. As you can see, it's all commercial and industrial, much of it vacant, with Home Depot and restaurants located directly to the east of the Walmart. These are the existing site conditions, about 2 months old. So this is the parking lot facing north towards 29 Palms Highway. It's also facing north from the other side, from the east side of where the gas station would be. This is facing towards the Home Depot at the northwest corner of the site. The shopping cart survived that positioning. And looking towards the Walmart, towards the southwest in this photo. This is an aerial of the site. So in the yellow in the northeast corner, that's the proposed location for the fuel station. And then we highlighted in red on the west side of the site, that is where the fuel station was originally proposed in 2007. So although it was included in the CEQA document, so it was analyzed in the environmental document, it was not adopted in the specific plan, so it was removed as part of the specific plan. So although it was analyzed for environmental impact previously, it was not included in the specific plan document, so didn't allow the fuel station ultimately. This is a site plan for the project. So the fuel canopy is that long rectangular feature towards the center north of the project site, with the smaller convenience store to the south of that. Some slight tweaks to the drive aisles. We could see the entry points to the north and also to the south, and then additional landscaping that will be brought into the site. These are elevations of the convenience store, standard colors and signage similar to the current Walmart store, approximately 16 feet in height, so kind of a standard single-story structure. The fuel canopy, so you could see the six pumps, 12 dispensers, approximately 17 feet in height, so also single-story standard height. This is the existing pylon sign, they are requesting to slightly modify their sign program to allow for the electronic signage displaying the fuel prices. And then a new monument sign at the corner of the primary drive aisle that's shared by Home Depot and Walmart, and then the drive aisle that leads into the parking lot. So although it faces the highway, it's an interior sign, and state law requires that sign with prices is displayed. This is preliminary landscaping, so as you could see, they're adding some parking islands and other features. So there's a significant amount of new landscaping that's going to be added. Some existing landscaping will be removed to accommodate the fuel station, but as you could see, they are more than replacing that landscaping with additional landscaping. I won't read through all these plants, but you can skim them. One note that the Planning Commission requested be modified for the specific plan. So as you know, the code, Chapter 8.70 of the Municipal Code already requires that lighting is fully shielded to comply with our night sky requirements. So in addition to that, and in addition to the no light trespass requirement also required by our code, by the EIR, and by our conditions of approval, the Planning Commission also requested that architectural lighting be limited to 3,000 Kelvin. So initially, I believe they had proposed 5,000 or 6,000, which is a higher intensity lighting. 3,000 is a little bit softer lighting. So in addition to a standard night sky implementations, the Planning Commission also requested this lower intensity lighting. And with that, the recommendation again is that the Town Council approves EA 02-25, that the Town Council approves CUP 01-25, and that the Town Council introduces the ordinance as previously read into the record. We can answer questions following public hearing. And just a note, Kimley Horn, the applicant's representative, and Placeworks, the CEQA consultants, are both on Zoom, hopefully. And Kimley Horn's indicated that they don't have additional presentations, but can answer questions if any arise.
Two additional comments, Mayor and Council. First is that, for the record, This item went before your Yucca Valley Planning Commission through a duly noticed public hearing where the Planning Commission opened that public hearing and took public testimony on that project prior to making a recommendation to the town council. Two, as Jared had laid out very clearly for you, there are 3 recommendations this evening, and we would request that the council act with a motion and a second and a vote on each of those 3 independently and not collectively together this evening. Concludes staff comments.
So noted, thank you. Our public hearing is open, and we're ready to hear any testimony from the public. Anyone online or here in the chambers, come forward and state your name, place of residence. You'll have 3 minutes, and thank you for being here.
Good evening. My name is Dean Arvidsson, and I'm a resident of Yucca Valley and also a board member of Sky's the Limit Observatory and Nature Center, located in 29 Palms. One of the other board members at Sky's the Limit was an electrical engineer for 40 years and has a background in negotiating and implementing government contracts. She prepared the following comments, which I would like to read and submit to the council for your consideration. As a town citizen, the hurried nature of the Walmart gas station construction is very concerning. I hope the council is aware of not only the real impact of the project, but the appearance of impropriety due to the rushed nature of the review. The specific plan application states that a photometric study will be submitted, but no due date and no specifics as to what impact requirements or codes will be assessed. A specific due date with requirements and a review opportunity with the community should be provided. In the appendix of this specific plan application, it says that a lighting plan, photometric plan, in conformance with Yucca Valley Ordinance 90 Town Outdoor Lighting and Night Sky Protection Ordinance shall be prepared with a 3,000 Kelvin maximum illumination, but with no due date. San Bernardino County regulations should also be quoted because they are more recent with better regulations for minimizing light pollution and light intrusion. The county regulation should also be quoted because Yucca Valley is in San Bernardino County. Also, Appendix D, comprehensive sign program, is missing. The notice of determination states that the original 2008 EIR has been updated, but the original report did not consider the impact of lighting on the environment under biological resources. So no assessment has been done regarding the impacts of lighting now. It also states that the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, MMRP, will be updated, but it does not address impacts from lighting because it was not considered in the EIR. The MMRP only considered the aesthetics of lighting. Both of these documents should be updated to include the impacts of lighting and light pollution on the environment. The EIR, paragraphs 3.4 and 4.5, biological resources, addresses the impacts of construction to nesting birds under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, MBTA, but does not address the impacts of lighting on wildlife, including migratory birds. We know that outdoor lighting affects the day-night cycles of wildlife. It impacts birds and bats through the destruction of insects. It attracts and confusing predators and prey animals. The EIR should be updated to meet federal regulations. The Yucca Valley Retail Specific Plan, YVRSP, does say in paragraph 4.5.2 that the lighting shall conform to the lighting standards of Yucca Valley Code and specifically calls out 3,000 K maximum. San Bernardino County regulation should also be quoted. We know that outdoor light is harmful to wildlife. While it provides safety for people, it can be harmful for us as well. Excessive lighting impacts the environment through the electrical systems when wildlife changes. If we compromise our dark skies, it will impact the area through loss of tourism and loss of cultural ties to our past. I'll close by saying if you can offer gas at $2.89 per gallon, all comments will be released.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it did look a little dated, didn't that photo? Other comments, please? Please come forward, state your name, place of residence, and we will start the clock once you do your introduction.
Thank you. Deb Douglas, I'm resident of the Morongo Basin, Joshua Tree now, but I have been a resident of Yucca Valley and Pioneer Town. I've been here around 30 years. Worked in the corporate sector, but since I've been in this area, I was a public servant like you guys, worked for the county, Child Protective Services for a long time. One of the things I remembered about being here when I first moved here is that there's a bunch of people who have these big telescopes, and they go out to the Joshua Tree National Park. And they are so generous with those telescopes, and I was just captivated when they showed me what was up in the sky. Like, I saw Saturn's rings. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it blew me away. So it's really important to me, and I think a lot of our citizens, to keep those dark skies. And I applaud that there is some regulation here. When I've talked to other lighting specialists, they talk not only about 2700 Kelvin, but also about shielding, so it's low. And then in my neighborhood in Joshua Tree, with all these proliferation of Airbnbs, I've had to knock on doors and say, hey, think about some amber lighting or some timers or, down lighting. So I'm not against low-price gas, and I hope that the project passes with some attention to maybe changing it so it's just a little bit better for both us and our tourist population, and so that we want to stay residents here. And I did submit my concerns in writing, and there was a little picture of the different colors of light. So while staff talks about, 3,000, we can do that. I'd really love it to be a little bit lower. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone online?
Mayor, I would just like to note, those were my requests to speak, but there was also a written comment from Donald Nording that I distributed to council, and there's a copy of it up front here.
Very good. Any other comments? All right, we'll bring it back to our council. I'm
One
sorry.
more.
Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
I just had a question. My name is Susan. I'm from Joshua Tree. I have a question as far as on the environmental impact report. Why isn't there a new one done? A gas station on that corner, because originally it was in a different area. A gas station on that corner is going to probably have a lot of fumes and things like that for the people that live across the street in that area. But so why was there no new, I mean, that's a long time ago, 2000, what was it, 7, 6, almost 20 years ago that they made the EIR. So it'd be nice if they had a new one done before you approve anything. Also, the lighting is kind of an issue. Perhaps they could keep it under the 3,000, like it was said before, or have it so that it just goes down to a minimum, and then when there's some kind of a movement, then the lights would come up to make it so that it wouldn't be on 24, or up until 11 o'clock, I guess is when they said they're going to be keeping it on. Anyways, so that was just my little input in there, but I just don't understand why you can take a 20-year-old environmental impact report. Just doesn't, it sounds, because it's in a different location too, from where it was originally designed for. Thanks.
Thank you. And we'll go back. Anyone else would like to speak? All right, we'll bring it back. We'll have staff answer a few questions.
So prior to Jared or PlaceWorks or the applicant's representative making any comments in response to the public comments received this evening, it's important to note that the project is conditioned to be in compliance with the town's lighting ordinances, which requires shielding. Additionally, the applicant has agreed to go beyond what the town ordinance says in terms of adjusting the brightness of the lighting. That is not addressed in the code today. The commission requested that of the applicant, and the applicant has agreed to implement that standard as requested by the Planning Commission. Comment this evening that the town needs to reference county standards. County standards are not applicable inside town boundaries. County standards apply in the county area, not within the town. Why no new EIR? Because state law does not require it. State law requires and allows for an addendum to be prepared. An addendum was prepared to address the environmental issues of the changes to the project, and the town has complied with those state laws as related to preparation of an addendum to an EIR that's been previously circulated. And then finally, if there's any additional comments, Jared, that you would like to make. One final thing, the town council has given direction to staff to bring back to the town council some alternatives for changes to the town's lighting standard, and I'm sure that the town council will be more than happy and will be inviting interest groups who look to the night sky and want to see the preservation of the night sky, like many individuals in the Morongo Basin. The town council will be inviting those groups to participate in that process. We anticipate that those standards will be initiated, those discussion to those changes to those standards will be initiated probably around the month of August with the Planning Commission, and then ultimately coming up to the town council. So as always, we always invite public participation in that process, be that at the Planning Commission and or town council level. Jared, any additional comments that you would like to make this evening?
Yes, a couple of clarifications. So the photometric plan, a draft is submitted with the entitlements, so with this process, and then we condition it to meet our standards if it doesn't already, with a final photometric plan, which is reviewed with the building permit plan check. So prior to any building permits being issued, the photometric plan does have to prove that it's not going to create any light trespass. So just to clarify, that would be the due date for the photometric plan is prior to any building permits being issued. The MMRP, the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program from 2008, did address lighting. Mitigation measures 4.1.1 B and C both require those kind of, as previously discussed, lighting requirements. And then just to clarify, an addendum tears off of the previous EIR. So although it's not a new EIR, the analysis is new. So for example, there's a health risk assessment that was required to be prepared analyzing air toxics for the gas station. Just for an idea of what that looks like, the health risk assessment by itself with no other documentation is approximately the size of that folder. So it's quite a substantial analysis that was included with the addendum to the EIR. So although it's not technically a new document, it is a new analysis of the new features to the project.
So that's updated then with that
Correct.
addendum. And then there was one other comment, because you're hitting all the ones I heard. Talked about the feeling like it was a rushed process. Can you address that?
This process has been about a year and a half. It went to the Planning Commission. It was public notice as a public hearing with the Planning Commission in April. So it's been in a public setting for the last 2 months, and it's been posted to our website and in process for approximately the last year and a half.
Anything else to add?
No further comment, Mayor and Council.
Okay, very good. Bring it back to the council. I had a couple questions, but I'll hold off until other council members have a comment. My question was on the traffic flow going into that location versus the one before. Is that going to interfere with the bus transportation, the bus route, Basin Transit, dropping off and picking up passengers?
They do not expect it to interfere during operation of the gas station. So those drive aisles were already designed to accommodate parking and people coming into the Walmart. There may be temporary delay for construction, for instance, dropping off equipment to this project site. They're not going to encroach into that drive aisle on the north, but there could be construction vehicles temporarily turning in.
Okay, but not a permanent gridlock for the buses to get and drop off passengers?
No, there are multiple entrances into the Super Walmart project. The one entrance off of Highway 62, which is a joint entrance to the Home Depot Center. would share one of those common entrance points where individuals would either turn to go to the fueling station or, as they turn today, to go to the Super Walmart store. So there's really no change in that traffic pattern.
Okay, and then it's an elevated site, so compared to the road, it's a little bit higher. Is that taken into effect or taken into account when we're looking at illumination, when we're looking at lighting for something like that? Is that considered as well?
The applicant was not required to prepare renderings showing that. The gas station is set fairly far back, but in short, no, they would be required to shield the lights still, but if someone were able to get underneath the plane of those lights, which I'm not sure is possible from across the street, it's possible that you could hypothetically see a light bulb.
Two answers to that question. When you have topographic changes like you do in Yucca Valley, you're ultimately going to be looking up into somebody's lights, whether it's the residents that sit up in the hills in Western Hills and you're driving on Highway 62 or other similar situations. So that is unavoidable when you go from 3,200 feet in elevation above sea level on Highway 62 to some parts of our community which are approaching 5,000 feet above sea level. More specifically on the question, so if you're driving below, can you look up into those lights? Yes, you can. More importantly, the town's requirement in our ordinance to not allow for light trespass limits the effective distance of those lights to property line. And that's how the town's simplified regulation has worked over the years, is to not let the light trespass beyond their own property.
Yeah, and I wasn't worried about the light escaping into the atmosphere, which is a night sky ordinance, and we're trying to protect the night sky. But I was just wondering about, would it interfere with traffic on the highway? But you're saying it's set back far enough to where it's not going to be an issue with glare.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, and then would you say that because I too share the night skies are really important, and we need to be thinking about those and updating them and really seeing how the Airbnb market is contributing to light pollution. Would you say that most of the night sky problems are from older fixtures, not with new construction, we always take it under consideration. So would you say it's some of the older buildings, the older light structures that are the ones that are causing the most light pollution?
Yes, I'd say it's a combination of buildings that were built prior to those regulations and or non-permitted retrofits.
Okay, and again, this isn't a comment or a topic of all night skies, and we can get into that later, but I just wanted to thank the commission for really considering the night skies and making some adjustments, and also for the applicant being very cooperative in even adjusting it down from the minimum requirement. So I'm thankful for our planning commission for really looking at that.
I have a question. Is there an estimate of how long it will take to build this structure?
My recollection is, and Kimberly Horn on Zoom may correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they said 6 months.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, does that 6 months, well, it depends on when they started, right? Interfere with the migratory bird patterns that was of a concern by one of the residents?
So it always, as the council, I think, has seen over the years, and most recently with some of the commercial projects along the highway, it can be a little bit difficult to predict the timelines in which a contractor delivers on a project. Typical, professional, experienced contractors deliver these type of projects. Now, this has a little bit more complexity to it between the protection systems that have to go in for the fueling system and the fire suppression systems. But typically, projects like this are finished in an approximate 6-month time period.
Okay. And we're assuming that Walmart will have very efficient and professional people doing that.
And Walmart has built several of these smaller gas station for their clientele, for those that are shopping. They can stop by, get some gas, convenience. And I think the closest one is just here in the low desert, right? That's about carbon copy of what they're going to be putting in here.
Yeah, that's my understanding, yes.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Do we have a motion and a second? We have to take each item separately. If there's no other discussion, we can start with the approval of the EA 02-25, the adoption resolution of addendum number 1. Do we have a motion?
Dennison will move that item, environmental assessment 02-25.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Dennison,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. We'll move on to conditional use permit 01-25. The town council approves the CUP 01-25. Do we have a motion?
I'll move the item.
Dennison will second.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Dennison,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. Ordinance number, is that Roman numeral 20? Or is that a placeholder?
It's a placeholder.
Okay, all right. Ordinance for the specific plan 01-04, addendum number 2, the town council introduces the ordinance 01-04, amendment 2. Do we have a motion?
Dennison will move the item.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Councilmember Dennison,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to item number 28. Our public hearing is closed, by the way, and we're going to move on to item number 28, proposed budget adoption.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll wait for the presentation to load. If someone can just let me know when you're ready. And if you can hear me.
All right, we got the first slide up.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Town of Yucca Valley's proposed budget for adoption. This will be for fiscal years 2026 through 2028. Tonight, I'll provide a brief overview of the budget process, highlight some key financial changes since our last budget discussions, and then conclude with staff's recommendation for adoption. So this first slide here just reviews our prior budget input. The proposed budget before you today is the result of policy discussions throughout the year. We began in January with the strategic plan, followed by council approval for that plan in February. Staff then incorporated council priorities into the budget development process. We had budget reviews for the general fund in April and special revenue funds in May, which allowed for additional policy guidance and refinement before the final budget that's presented to council this evening. This process has ensured that the budget aligns with council's vision and community expectations. Next slide, please. So we've seen this slide in our previous budget discussions. Just wanted to review again for the public and council as a reminder that the 3 primary principles that guided development of this budget, the first being implementing the council-approved strategic plan, second, creating a balanced budget without the use of reserves, and third, responding to the community priorities while maintaining fiscal sustainability. These principles served as the foundation for all of the budget decisions included in tonight's adoption. Next slide, please. This slide illustrates the town's ongoing budget cycle. The town council and staff have completed the review of budget impacts and options and are moving forward this evening with budget adoption. Once the budget is adopted, results are then monitored throughout the year and adjustments are made as necessary to ensure financial stability and ensure that the budget is indeed effective throughout the year. Next slide, please. Thank you. So going forward, we'll review just a few slides on the general fund budget summary. Next slide, please. Great. So the proposed budget, or general fund budget, remains balanced across both fiscal years while preserving a strong reserve position. Just a high-level review for fiscal year 2027, revenues are projected at approximately $22.9 million, with expenditures of $22.5 million, resulting in a surplus of approximately $436,000. For fiscal year 2028, revenues are projected at $23.8 million, with expenditures of $23.2 million, resulting in that surplus of approximately $602,000. Those surpluses are available to make sure that the fund balance remains aligned with the council's reserve policy. Projected fund balance remains approximately $20 million throughout the budget period. And again, that policy ensures the reserves remain at 60% throughout both years. Next slide, please. So as demonstrated by this graph, the general fund proposed budget for adoption is a balanced budget while meeting those conservative reserve levels, again at 60% in each year. Next slide, please. So several adjustments have been made since council's prior budget reviews. On the revenue side, projections were updated using conservative year-to-date trends. So as revenue receipts have come in through the finance department's reviews, we were able to recalculate those budget projections for upcoming revenues. So it did result in an approximate increase of $365,000 in fiscal year 27 and $515,000 in fiscal year 28. On the expenditure side, we updated a few of our final calculations based off of personnel costs, some contract obligations that were finalized, and additional operational needs. Some notable changes include the updated personnel costs, which do include the proposed salary schedule adjustment and authorized position list updated, which is included as a resolution in the recommendation this evening. I did want to note at this time in the presentation, in accordance with California's SB 707 staff presentation, that we should note that the proposed adjusted salary schedules for fiscal year 27 and fiscal year 2028 equally apply to all of the Town of Yucca Valley's personnel, including all department head classifications. Council action on this item would formally adopt the proposed salary schedules with a uniform 3% cost of living adjustment in 2027 and a 2.5% cost of living adjustment in 2028. That concludes my comments on SB 707. Further adjustments for expenditures were applied to the town's contract safety agreement. We also identified reductions in operating supplies and services where it was appropriate. And then there were some final increases to partnership funding for the Desert Regional Tourism Agency's partnership funding, and a few final adjustments to some capital maintenance investments at the animal shelter. Next slide, please. We did also want to highlight one of the town's most significant ongoing priorities, which is the continued expansion and operations of the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. The proposed budget incorporates a 5-year amendment to the existing county contract, representing a cumulative increase of approximately 51% over the contract term. The total fiscal impact for the town, beginning in fiscal year 2026 through the 5-year period in 2031, is approximately $4.3 million. This will represent a significant investment while also responding directly to community expectations and the shelter's operational needs. Next slide, please. We'll be shifting over to special revenue funds for the 2-year period. Next slide, please. So the major special revenue funds remain unchanged from council's prior budget review. The most significant impact was the contract safety allocation in Measure Y, just that expenditure did increase slightly. But overall, these dedicated funding sources budgeted in the proposed special revenue fund budget support transportation, parks, housing, public safety, and other community programs that the council has previously reviewed and approved. In total, special revenue fund expenditures are approximately $18.3 million in fiscal year 27 and $10.1 million in fiscal year 2028. Next slide, please. I did want to take a moment to just say thank you to a couple different areas. The preparation of this budget represents a collaborative effort among town departments and staff. Their dedication to high-quality public service makes the budget process much easier, and it's very appreciated from the finance department. In summary, to conclude the presentation, the proposed 2026 and 2028 budget reflects a balanced and responsible financial plan that supports the town council's vision while also safeguarding the town's long-term fiscal plan. Last slide, please. So the recommendation for council is to adopt a resolution approving the fiscal year 2026-2028 proposed budget and designate those officials authorized to make requisitions for encumbrances against appropriations, and then to adopt a resolution approving the fiscal year 2026 and 2028 salary grid, authorized position lists, and related appropriations for fiscal year 2026 and 2028. I am happy to answer any additional questions after public comment.
Thank you very much. We'll bring it back to our public for comments, please. Thank you. Go ahead and push the button right there, and the green light will come on.
There we go. Hi,
And you can leave
everyone.
it- You can leave it on, too, after you're done.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Polly Pisano. I am a resident of Yucca Valley. I'm here to say that I oppose approving the 2026-28 proposal in the budget. Residents have not had a chance to fully review the 2,000-page document that was released on Friday. I'm here specifically opposing a budget around community safety. I'm curious if there's any funding for the surveillance tech known as flock cameras in the budget. Cities across the nation are opting out of camera surveillance networks like Flock's camera system due to concerns about data breaches. Initially sold as public safety enhancement, Flock cameras in practice are deeply flawed and easily hacked. 60-plus cities across the country have decided to cancel their contracts with Flock. Yucca Valley should and could be the next. It should not be funded. I have with me over 300 signatures from community members who understand that their rights are being sold to big tech. Today, we are asking our city council to cancel its contract with Flock, to stop any upcoming plans to add more cameras, and to be transparent about how we spend that money in the budget. Here's the truth, Flock in California. El Cerrito City Council voted not to renew its contract with Flock, and the cameras will be turned off on June 7th. Santa Cruz ended its contract in January 2026 after reports that city data was accessed with out-of-state agencies, violating state law SB 34. Mountain View voted to permanently cancel its contract in February of 2026 after discovering that federal agencies had unauthorized access to their cameras in 2024. Santa Clara County, the Board of Supervisors voted to stop using Flock as a vendor, impacting cameras in Saratoga, Cupertino, and Los Altos Hills, which are managed by the Sheriff's Office. South Pasadena canceled its contract in March of 2026 following concerns about data sharing with federal immigration agents. Oxnard suspended its use after discovering data was accessed by federal law enforcement through a nationwide query searching. It is deeply urgent that Yucca Valley cancels its contract and stops funding these Flock surveillance cameras. It is a waste of our city's funds, which should be put towards towards programs of community uplift. Dr. King once said, "The prescription for the cure rests with the accurate diagnosis of the disease." I'm standing here today as a granddaughter of a lieutenant from the Boston Police Force who served 30 years of his life, and he would agree that meeting basic needs, food, housing, and education is what makes communities safe, not faulty, hackable tech. Yucca Valley is our home. Let's make sure it continues to be a welcoming community. I oppose this budget until we remove those Flock cameras from the contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak? And do we have anyone online? Okay. All right, we'll bring it back to our council.
Mayor, if I might?
Yes, go right
I
ahead.
wanted to, first of all, commend our finance team. Jordan and her team has done a great job reaching out to all of the different departments. This is, as you've seen tonight and as we've laid out, this is a cumulative process where we start with community input through community surveys, community livability survey, which is typically done in the prior year. That is then assimilated and brought to the town council and to the public through to public comment, public input in your strategic plan. The council ultimately adopts that strategic plan. And then from that point, we've had multiple opportunities for review for both the general fund, the special revenue funds, and then again this evening for your final adoption. So thanks to the entire town staff, to the town council for your support throughout this process. Again, be happy to answer any other questions.
All right. Again, a very conservative budget. We appreciate that, and staying financially sound is truly important because we've seen what happens to other cities and municipalities that overspend. Do we have any questions or motion and a second?
I have one question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I know that we're planning to have the natatorium, the indoor pool, come online later in September or so. And curious about our budget surplus. Is it usable for emergency? I feel a little bit uncomfortable about expenses for the pool that we're not yet aware of.
Sure.
And do we have sufficient revenues to support this new natatorium? And I would like to, in the future, look at revenue enhancements that would help make that a more solid and predictable future for the natatorium. Where are we allowed to draw funds from in the short term, within the next couple of years, while it comes online and we learn more about what it's going to cost to maintain it? Do we have sufficient reserves, is my question, I guess, and can we access them for that?
So Jordan, I think I'll have you go through and just talk briefly about how we approached budgeting for the Yucca Valley Aquatic Center, number one. Number two, what the council's actions have been over the past couple of years with reserve funds and how we've allocated those to establish a reserve. Want to go through that?
Yep, no problem. So specifically for the operating budget for the Aquatic Center, the approach was to ensure we are extremely conservative on the potential revenues and then make sure we capture as many of those costs as possible. It is very appropriate to assume that there's might be costs that we're not fully aware of. So we wanted to make sure we assumed as much as possible, but also on the revenues. So for potential memberships, any facility revenue that is generated, we took internal estimates and then reduced those by about 70%. So we are assuming that the general fund will be able to subsidize at least 70% of those costs, and are hoping that those projected revenues align more with what our original estimates were. On top of that, over the past several years, we have established a reserve fund specifically for the Aquatic Center. It's Fund 636 in the budget that's adopted this evening. That has a current balance of 1.2 million that we have had interest earnings also being allocated to that throughout the year. And then the council has moved funds over when the general fund had excess at year end. So that is available if there were to be any contingency or specific items that were needed to draw down on from the future once it's open. So there are funds available if necessary.
Thank you, Jordan. And then just to tag on to that, if you can remind the council of the 5-year run out on our projections.
Yes. We also have the 5-year forecast that's at the front of the budget document. That's the first thing we look at when looking at the general fund is to project 5 years out. So we've ensured that the Aquatic Center, those revenues are slowly increasing over time. So we're still assuming a very conservative approach for the Aquatic Center's revenues. And we do think that that would be above our expectations in the future. And then we've also included an inflationary amount over the time to make sure that we're prepared for those increasing costs. So the forecast does show that the council's or the town's reserves will slowly grow over time as we absorb that Aquatic Center and adjust to it.
Great. Well, I feel much better knowing that you have so thoroughly gone through this. It's always a little scary to start something new, not knowing what the revenues and the expenditures will be.
I think all of your staff shares those same sentiments. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions about our budget as proposed? Yes, go right ahead. Councilmember Drodes.
I just want to say I'm really happy that there's more funding going to the animal shelter. It's just really incredible how the town has stepped up to the plate. And I'm glad we have the new employees that were announced tonight. And I think we're in the right direction with the animal shelter.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Jordan and staff for the process. Like Curtis was mentioning, it's a year-round process preparing the budget, and there's opportunity for priorities and input and feedback throughout the year. And this is a very organized approach, and our finance staff has earned the confidence, at least in my case, of my confidence in your preparation of the budget. So thank you for that work.
Thank you. All right. Are there any other questions?
Nope.
Well, Mayor, if there's no more questions, I'd like to move the item number 28, the proposed budget adoption resolution number 26, and personnel resolution number 26, with the extensions pending.
I'll second. Roll call.
Councilmember Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Lombardo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler,
Yes.
and Mayor Abel.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to item number 29, adoption of the policy for distribution of telephone and internet services during public meetings.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I will be presenting this item to you tonight. The recommendation before you is to adopt a resolution approving a policy for disruption of telephonic or internet services during public meetings in compliance with SB 707 and Government Code Section 54953.4. Senate Bill 707 amended the Ralph M. Brown Act to require eligible legislative bodies to provide two-way remote public access to town council meetings and a policy addressing how the agency will respond to the disruptions in telephonic or internet service that prevent members of the public from attending or observing a meeting remotely. The town council currently conducts town council meetings in a hybrid format, and public participation is available both in person and remotely. To be in compliance, the town would need to formalize procedures for responding to the disruptions affecting this two-way remote access. This SB 707 requirement goes into effect July 1st, 2026. It requires eligible legislative bodies to adopt a disruption policy, and the policy must address loss of remote public access during the meetings. The key provisions for this policy, an announcement of the disruption must be made by the mayor, town manager, town clerk, or their designee. A temporary recess of the meeting, including a minimum recess period of up to 1 hour, or until the service is restored, while the staff undertakes good faith efforts to restore the access. Efforts need to be made by staff to diagnose and restore service, including the use of alternative methods or equipment where available. The meeting can reconvene once service is restored or after 1 hour if the restoration is unsuccessful. This would allow for the ability of the town council to adjourn or continue the meeting, including the adoption of the required findings by a roll call vote if remote access has not been restored. Documentation of the disruption, restoration efforts, and any actions taken must be included in the official meeting minutes. These procedures ensure continuity of government operations while maintaining transparency and public participation to the extent feasible during technical disruptions. No alternatives are recommended. The proposed policy is required to comply with the government code, and there's no direct fiscal impact associated with adopting this policy, and any cost related to technology troubleshooting or equipment are part of the existing operational budgets. And with that, I have the recommendation, and I can take any questions following public comment.
Very good. We'll open up to public comments. We still have an online connection, do we? All right. That's great. And no one else here in the room? All right, we'll bring it back. So the Senate bill has addressed the issue if all of a sudden the internet or connection goes down for any technical reasons, then we have some built-in procedures that we must follow to stay in compliance. It is not required, my understanding, and the attorney can let me know if I'm wrong, it's my understanding that municipalities don't necessarily have to have an online presence for meetings, but we as a council have asked that we would continue that process after the COVID period, correct?
Sure, but as of July 1, and under this new law, now public agencies do have to either allow remote participation by telephone or through platforms such as Zoom or Teams.
Oh, okay, so it's no longer up to the municipality. Well, our council really wants as much participation, and we understand that sometimes transportation could be a problem or an issue for people, or work and so forth, so they can get on their computer. They don't have to be in town to be able to attend a meeting and give forth their public opinions, and so we want to have as much access and feedback as possible. So if there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the compliance of the Senate Bill 707.
I'll second.
Councilmember Dennison?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Lombardo?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Schooler?
Yes.
And Mayor Abel.
Yes. Future agenda items.
Mayor, I have one. I'd like to suggest that probably sooner than later that we ask the animal shelter staff to give a full report to the full town council. Councilmember Droz and myself have met as a subcommittee with the public and with staff each month. And this marks the 1-year mark since the staff came back with a report, and the report had, on shelter operations, had 32 or 34 recommended actions to improve the operations at the facility. And a lot of those were implemented right away. A lot of those took some time. A lot of those were dependent on staffing levels and getting things up and running. But at this point, I think that's very encouraging what has been done. And Councilmember Droz and myself have the benefit of seeing that month to month, but I'd like to suggest that maybe even the next meeting in June, if we could get a report to the full town council on that.
Yeah, we'll let staff decide the deadline, but the sooner the better is what I'm hearing.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah. And if I could segue, can I segue into the report at this point on that? Would that be appropriate? Report out on the latest committee meeting. We met May 21st, and it was Councilmember Droz and myself and Deputy Town Manager Stickle, 3 members of the shelter staff, and about 10 or 12 members of the public participated in the meeting. And this is a monthly meeting, like I mentioned. The staff did a very, very good job of updating shelter operations, including, and I'll just summarize these, the use of local media, which I don't know if you've noticed in the local media, but there has been ads with available dogs all the time in the media, and even with special promotions to increase adoption rates and to let people know that they can adopt animals from the shelter, and that's paid off quite a bit. The April shelter statistics, just briefly, I'll tell you that the live release rate for dogs was 86.9%. And cats was 100%, so that's pretty impressive. And I think staff indicated a little while ago that qualifies, very close to qualifies as a no-kill shelter. You know, not that that's what we put ourselves out as, but that's how well we're doing there compared to what you heard a year ago. And January to April, live release rates for dog, and that's so far this calendar year, is 85.83%, and cats is 92.77%. So this is really an upturn, and that's part of why I'd like the whole council to hear the whole report. Staff had a May adoption event where it was whatever day in May, that was how much you paid for the dog that you adopted. And if it was the 1st of May, you'd get it for $1, and if it was the 30th, it would cost you $30. But it was a kind of a fun promotion and very effective. The volunteer program is up and running, and I think there's 5 volunteers that are participating in meaningful activities now, and there's more in the pipeline. But the fact that staff took time to frame this up so that these would be meaningful experiences and the right fit for the shelter, and the volunteers that we have on board are going above and beyond and really helping the operation there. It was encouraging to see that that we're staffed up now. I think that's what I understood from the new members. So that's very encouraging. We haven't been at that level until now. So the volunteer program, the success stories, they're really good, and staff presents a wish list of what people can do to help the shelter. So I think you'll be excited. We are, to get this full report from the staff.
Well, thank you and Councilmember Rhodes for serving on the subcommittee and meeting with the public. I think we're all in agreement. We'd love to hear that report and see what kind of updates we have as far as the animal shelter is concerned. Any other future agenda items? Yes. I heard that you said night skies are going to be going back to the Planning Commission for review, so that's wonderful. All right. Okay. All right. We'll move on to public comments. Oh, yeah, okay. Public comments. The town council takes this time to consider your comments on items of concern which are not on the printed agenda. When you are called to speak, please state your name and community of residence, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Inappropriate behavior which disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes orderly conduct of the meeting will result in forfeiture of your public comment privileges. The town council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not on the printed agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone who's requested to speak?
I would just like to note that there was one written comment from a Margaret Strachan that I distributed prior and is available up at the front.
Very good. Yes, we've received all 3. You mentioned 2 of those earlier, and this is the other one that was received, so thank you. That does not mean you cannot come up and speak if there's an item you'd like to speak about, and just please come forward, state your name and place of residence. Anyone online wishing to speak, joining us tonight?
Yes, Mayor. We have one online. Bonnie Hawthorne, I have requested you to unmute. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, Town Council. I wanted to circle back. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go right ahead.
By the way, I love that you have a Zoom option. It's fantastic, so thank you. I wanted to circle back to the gas station. I understand that the state doesn't require you to do an updated environmental impact report, but I think we could all appreciate that a lot has happened since 2008. What I'm most concerned about is whether they did a comprehensive traffic study, because that intersection is a bottleneck on a good day. And the intersection, the entrance to go to Walmart is also the entrance to go to a very busy Home Depot and another mini mall with Marshalls, etc. I know you guys are familiar with it. Putting a gas station right there, just imagine what a 45-foot RV making that series of corners is going to do to the flow of traffic. Somebody brought up the bus stop. That is a major concern. It's all, I don't know if you've ever watched the flow of traffic there, but it's already kind of a mess. And I really would like to emphasize the need for a good traffic study for this development. A lot has already been mentioned about the night skies and the lights. I don't know if any of you saw when they built the new entryway to the national park over near Monument Manor. But when that was first built, they had really bright lights that they have since toned down because of resident complaints. But because that is slightly elevated, it was like a glowing castle in the sky. And I have a feeling that this gas station will have the same effect because it is raised up quite a bit. And I mean, just think about the Arco station. If the Arco station was up another 100 feet or so, you'll be able to see it for miles. And it's open 24 hours a day, is my understanding. So I agree with the other commenter that if the gas is $2.79 a gallon, great, do it. But I really think that it really needs some further consideration before anybody moves ahead on this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bonnie. Anyone else online?
No, Mayor, that is all.
All right. We will bring it back to our staff now for staff reports and comments.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Captain, you have anything this evening?
I do. On Sunday, we had a memorial for our Sergeant Dominic Vaca over at Remembrance Park. It was the 5-year anniversary of his line of duty death. He was involved in a pursuit where the suspect fled on foot and ended up shooting him, ending his life. So I'd like to thank Mayor Abel, the council, town staff that were there, also the community. We had a lot of our deputies also show up that were from out of the area. I would say we had in excess of 100 people out there for the memorial. So I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out.
Thank you, Captain. We'll have a little bit more on that in a minute. Frank or Alex?
I do not, but Ms. Ernest, I think, has a few updates.
I'll be brief, but June happenings with community services. We have our summer kids interactive exhibit at the High Desert Nature Museum. Turtle Travels is up, and folks can come see it and learn about turtles and, of course, tortoises as well. And in conjunction with that, we have the Reptipalooza Family Fun Day on June 13th with crafts and games and food, inflatables, and educational activities and all of that. We also have the pool opening for the summer on June 15th. In addition, we have H2O, our water play program, on June 19th on the North Lawn here. And along with all of our other enrichment classes, we have Triple Play Kids Academy coming up on June 20th with a flag football theme and all of our other enrichment classes and summer programs. So check out the recreation guide online. Thank you.
Jane, you have anything? Okay. Just a couple comments, Mayor, I think, and Council, as you've been around town, this is always a busy time of year when we're going through our administrative contract renewals, our budget development, but yet we're still able to deliver some pretty exciting projects. We had an event yesterday evening at your Desert Willow Center, and it was great to see the community enjoying a newly rehabilitated and modernized facility. Likewise, here on the north side of the community center, you've probably seen the new paving that's gone in. Our old paving was in dire need of replacement. Pickleball project is underway. And then this morning, we had the opportunity to take a site walk over at the Yucca Valley Aquatics and Rec Center. So really exciting things happening. We thank you for your leadership in this process and look forward to continuing to deliver those projects and programs to the community.
Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and go with our town council member comments. Council Member Dennison.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just briefly, but I just wanted to welcome our new employees. Shane had taken the opportunity to highlight some of our new public works and the animal shelter personnel that were here today. But, you know, we talked about a little bit the animal shelter and seeing the enthusiasm in Brenda showing up here, and also Wesley, Darren, and Sierra. They were excited. They got to the mic and they spoke about the opportunity that our community has to have them helping out. And I think it's great. The community has asked for this, and we've got some great young folks out here that are stepping up and excited to be here. So that's kind of about it, except for, I just got to say, I didn't mention it during the time of the Youth Commission being there. I love the Youth Commission. I've watched that program over the years just mature so much. And what is crazy, it was brought up that it's just exponentially growing every year, and we've had to keep changing our rules to accommodate the capacity of the young people that want to be involved in it. And seeing them starting off in the junior high classes is great. The camaraderie that you see there, talking about health benefits of being active, helping and socializing with our seniors. We just talked about the senior center and how the Desert Willow Center, how that is working out. But those relationships all the way from young to more senior is just one of the best things I think we can do for the quality of life outside of all the other things that we do or build or fix potholes or whatever. But this is really neat. The kids were excited. I'm glad to see that. It's the best thing I've seen all night. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Drodes.
I don't really have much. I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here, and especially the public. It's nice to see people show up and participate in our meetings. And I want to congratulate the new employees and also the Youth Commission members. So everybody have a great 2 weeks.
Thank you. Councilmember Lombardo.
Well, first off, I want to welcome Brenda, Wesley, Sierra, and Darren as new employees, as part of the family. Excited to see your enthusiasm. And how did you score 3 people or 4 actually, that can speak so well in public already? Usually I credit you with getting them on board and getting them to speak in public, because most people are afraid to do so, but they all presented themselves very well, and it's exciting to see that. The youth commissioners always make me very proud. It's a great opportunity, and it looks like many of them took great advantage of it, and they are, I know, a lot of times younger people are a little bit in their shell and a little bit afraid of speaking in public or being in front of adults, but this group seems to be learning the leadership skills and the public speaking skills that are so important in life, and being able to express yourself in a meaningful way in other groups. And it's a great experience for them. I'm very excited to see that they've taken advantage of it and done so well with it. I am thankful that we have the staff and the support in the financial department that allows our community to have an adequate reserve and a budget plan that allows us to stay within our expected revenues. And it takes a lot of effort on a lot of people's parts, and I'm very proud of them all. Thank you for that. It's nice to be part of a community that sustains itself and is expanding its services in so many ways. So many projects are happening, and great things are happening in our community. We have a lot to be proud of here. And it's just very rewarding to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Schooler.
Yeah, I think it's all been said, but I do want to chime in also on the Youth Commission. It's been, I think, 31 years in existence, and I was on staff and part of it when the Youth Commission was first formed many, many years ago, and it was rather anemic by today's standards, a little disorganized, but and not really something that people raced over here to sign up for. I think we had 7 or 8 students that participated in that. But watching the evolution of that and watching Acacia and George present the way that they did, they're excellent representatives. I just think they're going to graduate and they're going to maybe move away. I hope they stay here, because the maturity that they've gained here and the growth that they've gained here and what they know about this community is extremely valuable. So I hope they stay, but wherever they go, I think they're going to be an asset to that community, and it just speaks well for the program. I think the Youth Commission program is awesome. Also would like to acknowledge the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians for stepping up and funding half of the fireworks program this year. I think that's great, good community support, and also welcome to the new employees, like everybody else said, and that's all I got.
Thank you very much. I would like to wish a happy birthday to both Councilmember Dennison and Mayor Pro Tem Schooler. Dennison's birthday was yesterday, and he was serving the community by going to the mixer that we had and meeting people in the area on his birthday instead of out doing his birthday party. And then Mayor Pro Tem Schooler didn't dodge tonight's meeting, and he's here tonight on his birthday as well. So thank you very much for your service and putting the town as a priority, and happy birthday to both of you. For the town of Yucca Valley to become continually a desirable place to live and visit, we must be proactive and look towards things that can enhance the overall experience for our residents and also for our visitors. And our recreation facilities that we have added a lot to the community. Our community center golf course, our recreation center that's being built with the aquatics, our pickleball complex, all of those elevate the experience for both the residents and for visitors. We also need to make sure that we look forward to looking at where we should go in the future and expanding things that enhance the experience, such as bike paths and hiking trails, and preserving our night sky, which keeps this a very unique and special place. I'm always reminded of our night skies when I go outside, of course, but also when my visitors, my friends, come from other areas and cities, and I have to explain that is not clouds, that is the Milky Way that you're looking at. And we need to think about those types of things, because people will come here for the environment that we all cherish and love. So with expansion, with our buildings, we need to continue to do the things that bring community together, such as our concerts in the park, our 4th of July or July 3rd celebrations, our farmers market, places where people can connect and enjoy. And it also helps those that come and visit have a wonderful experience in return. So again, as we look forward to expansion, as we look forward to the future, as we look at our workforce starting to work more from home, and maybe people coming here to enjoy where we live and work from home, we can do some things to help encourage that and keep them in mind as we're continuing to move forward with our projects. Our next town council meeting will be on Tuesday, June 16th at 5 p.m. here at the Yucca Valley Community Center. And in closing, I would like to make this statement. Here in Yucca Valley, public safety is our top priority, and we as a town council and staff offer unwavering support to law enforcement and to our grateful men and women who proudly and bravely serve our community. However, sometimes that comes at a tragic cost. We remember today and tonight as we close, on Memorial Day 2021, Sergeant Dominic Vaca was tragically killed in the line of duty here in Yucca Valley. Preserving and protecting us, our community, and laying down his life for others. So as we close tonight, I would like us to remember Dominic's ultimate sacrifice, and also to keep in thought and prayer his widow, Valerie Vaca, and the other family members who live each and every day with that sacrifice. So in that, we close in your honor, sir.